Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia, and today I want to talk about um, depression and suicide. I have never made a video, this is my very first video, and I decided to do this because I came across an article that I read, and the article was about suicide. I myself have suffered from depression. I haven't really spoken out about it. I feel like it's something that you try not to really discuss or even mention when you're going through it, or even after you've gone through it. Like, you don't really talk about, the depression that you went through. Um, I feel like we don't really talk about this kind of stuff amongst our communities when you're Hispanic, or in your Hispanic homes. For me personally, I feel like you don't really talk about it because you don't want people to think you're crazy. Um, I think that's something that kind of crosses your mind first, oh, what are they going to think? Or what are people going to say, especially because having depression, you do get really bad thoughts. There's a lot of things that cross your mind when you're having depression, um, things that you don't even want to think about. It's weird. Like, it's not like you're just sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's stuff that you can be fine in 1 second, and then in the other second, you get a thought in your head, or you feel like the feelings that you get. I know for me, most of the time, I just felt really sad. Um, Anyways, before I continue, I do want to read this article that I came across a few days ago. So the article said that suicide is the second leading cause of death among individuals between the ages of 10 and 34, and the fourth leading cause between the ages of 35 and 54. It also read that in 2018, there were more than 48,000 people that committed suicide. Um, on my dad's side of the family, we unfortunately all suffer from depression and anxiety. Um, we also get panic attacks, and all that is so. Panic attacks and anxiety are pretty much sort of triggered by depression. Um, so if you've been feeling sad or depressed, and then it's just overwhelming, that's when you can get a panic attack. And those are not fun. I've also had those where you are just fine and then you just feel like you just can't breathe. Like somebody's putting something very heavy on your chest and you're trying to catch your breath and there's just nothing that can help. Um, Thankfully, I have a family member who is near me, who actually, when I was having one of those panic attacks, when I felt like I couldn't breathe, she helped me so much. She asked me to lie down and told me to breathe in and out. So she had mentioned, so whenever you're having one, lie flat on your back and just focus on your breathing. Close your eyes, focus on your breathing, in and out. And I that helped me a lot actually, and I felt so much better. And ever since, every time I even start feeling like I can't breathe, I do that, and I feel so much better. Anyways, so the article also read that in 2018, there were more than 48,000 people that had committed suicide. And, that was really hard to see, especially because the 48,000 people that committed suicide in 2018 were only in the United States. So I just couldn't believe how many people, suicide themselves. That's a really big number. And like I said, I have suffered from depression myself, and never talked about it. And I thought this was perfect to talk about. And it's really hard to talk about it. It's not something that's easy. I have kids, I have a husband, and I just feel like the way I was raised, I was raised by a single mom, and she was always very, very strong. You fall, you get right back up, you don't let nothing put you down. Was kind of the way she raised my sister and I. So then having depression and feeling very, very, how can I say it, like pretty much like I'm letting myself down and my mom, because she raised us to be strong women and to be successful and to work hard. So having depression was really hard. And like I said, I didn't really want to talk about it because, well, when I was going through the depression, I really didn't want to talk about it because I just didn't want to feel like I was failing. It was more of a, like how am I going to tell everybody that I'm going through this and that I need help? It was pretty much how I felt. Um, I the worst depression that I had was when I gave birth to my third son. It's funny because I didn't even know that I also had depression, and it was pretty bad during my pregnancy, until now. My husband and I were sitting down talking about it, and I realized I was sad all the time during my pregnancy. I was crying all the time. Nobody loved me. Everybody's leaving me out. Like just dumb stuff that cross your head or cross your mind, and you just don't, it's not true. Um, but after I had my son, that was the worst. I just couldn't, like, it was hard. Would cry all the time, and I recall my husband telling me constantly, why are you so sad? You just had a baby. And I mean, I'm not trying to make him look bad, but he would tell me, you're not like all the other mothers, that have a baby and you're happy, because you just gave birth, and you brought a living person to this world. um and I remember that would make me feel even worse, because I would be like, he's right, like how am I not happy? I wanted this baby so bad, and not feeling happy. I just felt like I was letting my baby down, and my other two children. I just felt like I wasn't the mother that I was taught to be. And that was really, really hard. I constantly, like I said, was crying. I would constantly just have bad thoughts. And then I kept having really bad dreams all the time. It's so scary how depression can take control of your life. That's just what it is. It takes over. And the hardest part for me was that I didn't ask for help, even though I needed the help. And I knew I needed help, but I just didn't. And I constantly remember family members telling me, like, you're fine. Just stop thinking about it. Like, stop thinking about the dumb things that you're thinking about. And I'd be like, well, I can't. It's not stuff that I'm just sitting there thinking about. It's just stuff that comes to my head. Um, I actually recall having one of my really bad dreams, and that was kind of like the ending point for me. I just couldn't anymore. Um, I constantly kept dreaming that so I had a really hard time breastfeeding my son. And I really wanted to breastfeed him because, I just kind of felt like I want to breastfeed him. He's my son and it's just better for him. It's nutritional. But hold on, let me grab my baby. Okay, so right now I'm with my fourth baby girl. This one I just had. Anyways, so with my third son, like I said, I kept having bad dreams, and that bad dream that I had was the ending point for me. Um, so I kept dreaming about having something weird in my nipple. And then when I would look, like I couldn't see anything, but then when I would try to squeeze milk out, I had maggots coming out. That was really scary, um, because I just felt like, why did I keep having that dream? Like it was hard. And I decided that I wasn't gonna breastfeed. So I stopped breastfeeding, and then I decided that I was gonna start working because I just couldn't anymore. When I kept having those dreams, I remember also thinking, like I don't want to be here anymore. Like I just didn't want to be alive anymore. I wanted to. I never thought about suiciding myself and my kids. And I know that women do that, and it's really sad when I see it or hear it on the news, how they kill their kids and then they kill themselves. But I feel like people don't really understand. They don't understand what you're going through. And sometimes I feel like people see you going through stuff and they don't extend them their a hand to help you. They don't help you. They're just like, oh, they'll get over it. Or honestly, I don't even know what people think. Um, I just know that I also thought that myself. Like I said, I didn't think about killing my children. Thank God. I'm so thankful. Like that never thought crossed my mind, but I did think about suiciding. I remember I kept plotting, like, how am I gonna do it? Okay, I'm not gonna kill myself in my house with my kids here. Um, but I remember I kept thinking, like, maybe I'll just leave them here by themselves. I remember I had my oldest son, and he was in school already, and he was there full time, so he was gone. But I had my newborn, and I had my 3-year old. Uh, and I remember I constantly kept thinking, like, I'll just leave him alone. I'll just leave him here at the house, and their dad will come home when he gets off of work and find them. Um, and I'll just grab my car and throw myself off of a bridge and with my vehicle. That's what I kept thinking. Or, maybe I'll speed up and crash into a pole, something, just anything. But my thoughts were always with the vehicle. I don't know why. Um, and now that I think about it, it sucks. I feel, thankful that I never did it. Um, and like I said, I just kind of thought, like, okay, no, I'm not going to kill myself. Even though I thought about it a lot and I wanted to do it many times. Um, but the love I have for God was way bigger. I just thought, how am I going to kill myself when it's not my time, is what I thought. And I thought it wasn't fair for my kids. Um, so I decided to just help myself. I myself didn't take any pills or anything like that. I didn't. I just didn't want to because I didn't want to depend on them. Um, After, I didn't want to feel like I need to take a pill to be happy. Um, but I started, hanging out with more of my neighbors, and we would take walks and, kind of talking to them. And like I said, I didn't tell them that I was going through the depression, but we would hang out and, just do girl stuff with our babies because they all had babies too. Um, and then I got a job, so that helped me a lot too, just to kind of, a routine, get my head, my thoughts, to stay away from those thoughts actually. So that helped me. Um, so it's been hard. I had my fourth baby girl. So I have three boys. This is my fourth, and it's a girl. And I felt so happy throughout my whole pregnancy. I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm blessed. I feel good. I don't even think I have depression this pregnancy. Like, I'm good. So I was like, I'm only going to breastfeed her. Like, that's all I want to do. It doesn't matter. I'm going to struggle, but I'll get through it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. I had her, and immediately, like the next day, like it was weird. Like, as soon as I had her, the following day, I just started feeling so sad again. Like, it was weird. Like, I caught myself dozing off when they were when somebody was trying to tell me something. And I was like, oh my God, like it's starting. But I didn't want to say anything because I was like, no, like I'm not gonna say anything. Like, I'll be fine. Um, but I wasn't. I just kept feeling really, really sad again. And then I got home and I just started crying for no reason. And my husband started asking me again, what's wrong? Are you okay? It's okay, baby girl. So I started feeling really sad again and just crying, like just knowing that he had to go back to work. That scared me. And I was like, no, please don't go. Ask for another week off. I'll see what I can do. I'll figure it out. Like I'll see if I can get a doctor's note, something. Like I can't. I just couldn't be alone. Um, so I remember going to my daughter's first appointment and I started crying. And I remember the doctor was like, oh, you kind of need help. So he reached out. He gave me a few papers for me to reach out to, like depression lines. I guess it's a phone number that you call when you're feeling down and they'll help you. Um, so he gave me a few of those, and then he asked me to please make sure I made an appointment with my doctor sooner than the appointment that they give you after you give birth. So I remember I called my doctor and I did. I came in and saw him, and I was definitely going through depression. He prescribed pills, and I decided not to drink them again because I just don't want to depend on them. I don't. Um, but his nurse actually mentioned that she had just gone through postpartum depression and recommended a few vitamins. So that's what I've been drinking, and I'm still drinking them, and I feel so good. Um, of course, I'm not breastfeeding. I kind of felt like, I don't know. I don't know if that's something that kind of triggers my depression too. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because there's so many things that can trigger your depression and it's different for everybody. Um, so I stopped breastfeeding. I started drinking those vitamins, and thankfully, like I've been feeling good. But at least for the first 2 weeks of me having my baby girl, I was definitely going through depression, and it was bad. It wasn't as bad as my first son, but I definitely think that if I wouldn't have asked for help this time, um, I would have probably been worse, because I don't remember feeling that sad right after having my baby. Um, I remember it was a few days after, but this one was like literally like the next day I had her was when I started feeling really sad, and I was constantly crying, for no reason. It was weird, and I would just sit there and like look at her, and it's something that you just can't understand unless you go through it. Um, so like I said, that is the reason why I wanted to make this video, kind of just to talk about what I've been through and how I felt during my depression. My, you know, I just want to make sure that everybody makes everybody aware, of depression and what it can lead to, which is suicide. Um, don't be scared to talk about it. If you need help, please, please, please ask for help. Um, I know that for many years I was scared and I never asked for help. I always just kind of dealt with it myself. But this time that I actually asked for help, it went so well. Like I feel so much better. I'm so happy. You know, I don't feel like I'm constantly thinking about thoughts. Like I honestly didn't even get any nightmares or like negative thoughts, which is really, really nice. But
please, you know, especially our Hispanic men. I did a bit of research, and it said that Hispanic men are the most that are prone to becoming victims of depression and suicide. Um, and I feel like it's because men are raised, our Hispanic men are raised to be strong. You are the man of the house. You don't talk about your feelings. You kind of suck it up and you keep moving forward because you're the rock of the home. Um, but it's not like that, you know. If you are feeling sad, if you are feeling like you don't want to be here anymore, please, please, please reach out to somebody, ask for help. I promise you, you won't regret it. You know, you are going to get help and you're going to feel so much better. Don't be scared to reach out to anybody. That's just it. And please, anybody else that is looking at this video and who hasn't gone through depression, if you see someone having a hard time and you know it, because you can see it, it's not something that you'll go without not noticing. You know, you'll notice if somebody's having depression, if they're having a hard time. Please, please, please do it from your heart. Reach out to them and ask them, are you okay? Can I help you? You know, just try to help them with anything. You know, maybe they'll tell you, no, I'm fine. You know, don't worry about it. Like, I'll be okay. No, keep pushing, you know, help them. In any way, anything, you know what they like or how they feel about certain stuff, you know, even if you just call them once a day, to get their heads out, you know, or their thoughts off of everything negative that's going through their head. Even just that would help, you know. I know this time that I was going through the depression, I called on my sister-in-laws and I told them, hey, I'm going to call you guys because I am feeling really sad. And, you know, even when you're telling them, you're just crying and you don't even know why you're crying, you're just crying. But please, let's help each other and bring awareness to depression amongst everybody, you know, every race. But like I said, mostly amongst our Hispanic society, because I want everybody to be aware that if this goes untreated, you might lose somebody in your family, or, you know, somebody close by to you, like a friend, you know. Let's just try to help each other. And I really, really want to appreciate everybody who watched this video. Thank you so much. And I hope that if you are having a hard time, that you ask for help. Thank you so much. And we are going to say goodbye. Say bye, mamas. Say bye, mamas. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video is helpful. Bye.